Exclusive. Spurs fans, get ready. A mega investment is about to elevate the club to a whole new level. Welcome back to Tottenham News Today channel. Qatar Sports Investments, the powerful fund chaired by PSG President Nasser Al-Khelaifi, has now firmly entered the frame regarding Tottenham's ownership future. According to well-placed sources in Paris, QSI have been actively exploring the possibility of acquiring a minority stake in the North London club, and the move has the potential to reshape not only Spurs' future, but also the broader football landscape across Europe. While Tottenham's official stance remains that the club is not for sale, insiders continue to link Daniel Levy's recent departure with preparations for a partial or even eventual full takeover. QSI, whose financial reach and ambition are among the strongest in global sport, see Tottenham as a unique opportunity. The group has already made informal inquiries into Spurs' ownership structure, laying the groundwork for what could be one of the most significant investment stories in English football in years. For QSI, the interest in Spurs comes at a time of mounting frustration with their current position in France. Despite their success in transforming Paris Saint-Germain into a global footballing powerhouse, relations with the French government have soured following repeated political criticism of the Qatari group. Furthermore, QSI executives have grown increasingly disillusioned with Ligue 1, openly lamenting the lack of visibility and global reach of French domestic football compared to the Premier League. The Premier League, with its unparalleled broadcasting strength, global audience and commercial might, is viewed by QSI as the natural next step for their ambitions. Tottenham in particular stands out as a project of extraordinary potential, a world-class stadium, a passionate global fan base, and a club firmly established in England's elite. Parisian sources even suggest that QSI are prepared, in the long term, to divest their interest in PSG entirely, with the ultimate goal of acquiring full control of Spurs. For now, the discussion is centred on a minority stake, with QSI's initial entry into the club designed to test the waters and build influence. However, the long-term vision is clear: total ownership. ENIC, despite their public insistence that Spurs are not on the market, are understood to be open to negotiations if the right offer arrives. Reports claim that a figure in the region of £5 billion would be considered, a valuation that underlines Tottenham's position as one of the most valuable clubs in world football. If successful, QSI's arrival in North London would represent a seismic shift. For Spurs, it could mean unprecedented levels of investment in the playing squad, infrastructure and commercial growth, placing the club in a position to genuinely challenge Europe's very best. For QSI, it would mark the beginning of a new era, moving beyond the constraints of League One and into the global epicentre of football, the Premier League. Tottenham are once again preparing to test Atletico Madrid's resolve as they eye a potential £45 million deal to bring Conor Gallagher back to the Premier League in January. The 25-year-old midfielder, who left Chelsea for Spain in the summer of 2024, has been thriving under Diego Simeone's guidance, revitalising his career and establishing himself as a vital component of Atletico's midfield. Gallagher, who was sold for around £34 million, quickly became an influential figure in Madrid, silencing critics who doubted his ability to shine outside of English football. His combative style, relentless energy and ball-winning qualities have been central to Atletico's campaign, earning him praise from Spanish media and supporters alike. Tottenham have held a long-standing interest in Gallagher and even explored the possibility of signing him during the most recent summer transfer window. At the time, Atletico Madrid signalled a willingness to consider offers, but Spurs ultimately failed to reach an agreement before the deadline. Sources now suggest that January could present a very different scenario, with Spurs ready to revive their pursuit and Atletico open to talks if the right offer arrives. A deal of around £45 million is now being discussed as a realistic figure, and while Atletico would seek to make a profit on their initial investment, Tottenham's growing ambition under Thomas Frank could see them push hard to secure his signature. Frank, despite overseeing 8 new arrivals in the summer, is still believed to be dissatisfied with certain areas of his squad, particularly in midfield, where the futures of Rodrigo Bentancur and Yves Bissouma remain uncertain. Gallagher's arrival would not only add depth, but also inject dynamism and proven Premier League experience into the side. For Spurs, Gallagher represents more than just another signing. He embodies the type of tenacity, work rate and leadership qualities that could prove invaluable as the club seeks to compete at the highest level domestically and in Europe. His ability to cover ground, win possession and transition quickly into attack aligns perfectly with Frank's vision for an energetic, pressing-based midfield. The North London club's pursuit of Gallagher underlines their intent to move for elite-level players following the exit of Daniel Levy, marking a new, more ambitious chapter for Tottenham. While Atletico will not part with him easily, optimism is growing that Spurs could finally get their man in January. Should the deal materialise, it would represent a significant statement of intent, proof that Tottenham are prepared to invest heavily in quality talent capable of making an immediate impact. Gallagher's potential return to England, this time in lily-white, could prove one of the most exciting moves of the window and a clear sign that Spurs are determined to close the gap on their rivals. Spurs are linked with an exciting midfield reinforcement, with reports suggesting that the North London club are seriously monitoring Stuttgart's Angelo Stiller. The 24-year-old has been turning heads across Europe with a string of outstanding performances in the Bundesliga, and his growing reputation has not gone unnoticed by some of the continent's biggest sides. Arsenal and Manchester United are also believed to be tracking his progress, but Spurs appear ready to position themselves firmly in the race. According to recent reports, Tottenham's recruitment team are keeping close tabs on Stiller's situation and see him as a potential long-term solution in the middle of the park. A natural deep-lying midfielder, Stiller has built a reputation as one of the most reliable and tactically intelligent players in Germany. Teammates and coaches alike regard him as one of the best number sixes the country has, and his combination of defensive solidity, tactical awareness and technical quality makes him an extremely attractive option for any top Premier League club. For Tottenham, the appeal is clear. While Thomas Frank has already overseen a number of squad reinforcements, there remains a pressing need for additional quality in midfield, particularly someone who can dictate tempo, offer defensive balance, and transition the ball smoothly into attacking phases. Stiller's profile fits this requirement perfectly. He is comfortable in possession, composed under pressure, and capable of breaking up opposition play with smart positioning and timely challenges. Beyond his defensive capabilities, he has an eye for progressive passes and can control matches with his distribution. The financial side of the deal is equally enticing. Stiller has a release clause in his contract set at around £40 million, a figure that, in the current transfer market, represents genuine value for money. For a player still only 24, and with considerable room to develop further, it could prove to be a bargain in the long run. Spurs certainly have the resources to activate the clause, and doing so would demonstrate their intent to compete with England's elite. There is also the lure of the Premier League itself, which could play a decisive role in the player's decision. Stiller would no doubt find the challenge of establishing himself in the world's most competitive league a thrilling prospect. Tottenham can offer him the perfect platform to showcase his abilities on a bigger stage, while also guaranteeing him regular football as part of a squad that is very much in transition towards something more ambitious. Competition for his signature will be fierce, with Arsenal and Manchester United also circling. However, Tottenham can steal a march by acting decisively in the coming months. Securing a player of Stiller's calibre would not only strengthen their midfield instantly, but also signal to their rivals that Spurs are serious about their rebuild and determined to bring in top-class talent. If a deal can be completed, Tottenham would be adding a midfielder capable of transforming their play almost immediately. His ability to offer defensive stability, tactical control and composure in possession could make him an indispensable asset. With his best years still ahead of him, Stiller has the potential to develop into one of the Premier League's standout midfielders. That's all for today's update. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay up to date with everything Tottenham, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Don't forget to drop a like and share this video with other Spurs fans. Together we can keep growing the Tottenham News Today community. Thanks for watching, and as always, come on you Spurs!